What if the history we've been taught is just a small chapter of a much older, grander story? Before empires rose, before written words, humanity may have built advanced societies, long lost to time, civilizations that mastered survival, astronomy, and engineering, leaving behind incredible, enigmatic structures. Then, something happened. Catastrophe, climate change, or conflicts erased their progress from memory. Today, archaeologists uncover ruins that challenge our official timeline, sites too advanced for their supposed era. From massive stone circles aligned with the stars to cities buried deep beneath vast deserts, artifacts whisper of forgotten technologies, raising a haunting question: is our understanding of human development incomplete? Mainstream history suggests civilization began in Mesopotamia around 5,000 years ago. But what if that's only the beginning of the recorded story, not the true one? What if entire chapters are lost? Imagine vast societies thriving long before the pyramids, long before the ziggurats, before the Great Wall. Imagine cultures that rose, flourished, and fell, leaving behind only fragments and mysteries carved into stone. This series will take you on a journey through those mysteries, peeling back the layers of time. From Mesopotamia to Egypt, from the Indus Valley to ancient China, we'll explore forgotten wonders. We'll examine megalithic structures and artifacts that defy explanation, challenging what we think we know. But this isn't just about ruins. It's about the human story, our resilience, ingenuity, and vulnerability. Civilizations rise, civilizations fall, and yet humanity endures. How many times has this cycle repeated? Tonight, we uncover the untold history that may change everything we know about our origins. If you love mythology, history, and forbidden ancient stories, subscribe to reveal the secrets behind every myth. And let me know from where you're watching. I want to see how far these mysteries travel across the world. Long before skyscrapers, humanity's earliest civilizations rose from mud, stone, and fire. They transformed survival into society, carving order from chaos. In the Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia, villages grew into cities. Farmers tamed rivers, building canals for abundant fields. Clay tablets recorded trade, laws, and stories, the first whispers of written language. Ziggurats rose, monuments to gods and human ambition. Here, civilization was born from the rhythm of rivers and the hunger for permanence, a testament to early human ingenuity. Far to the west, along the Nile, Egypt emerged. Its people mastered the floods, turning disaster into prosperity. They built stone monuments so massive they seemed eternal, pyramids aligned with stars, temples carved with precision. Egypt was not just a kingdom, it was a statement. Humanity could defy time itself, leaving an indelible mark. In the Indus Valley, another society thrived. Their cities were planned with astonishing order. Gridded streets, drainage, deep wells. Unlike Mesopotamia or Egypt, the Indus left no grand monuments. Their genius was hidden in infrastructure, built for life. Their mystery endures in undeciphered scripts etched into stone seals, a silent testament to a lost world. Meanwhile, in ancient China, villages along the Yellow River grew into dynasties. They forged bronze and raised great walls. They cultivated philosophies that would shape millennia, seeking harmony between heaven, earth, and humanity. Their civilization was not only about survival, but about meaning, a profound search for balance. These first civilizations were not isolated. They were sparks of a greater fire, rising almost simultaneously across the world. Each mastered its environment uniquely, leaving ruins that whisper of ingenuity, ambition, and mystery. Together, they remind us that humanity's leap from survival to civilization was sudden, dramatic, and perhaps guided. The first known civilizations were more than beginnings. They were warnings. They showed us that humanity could rise, but also that every rise carries the shadow of collapse. And so, the journey continues. From Mesopotamia's clay tablets to Egypt's pyramids, the story of civilization begins here. But the question remains, why did it appear so suddenly? What forces truly shaped our earliest history? Civilization didn't slowly emerge. It appeared suddenly, a monumental leap for humanity. Archaeologists ponder, why did farming villages transform into complex cities almost overnight? Why did writing, monumental architecture, and organized religion appear simultaneously across regions? In Mesopotamia, complex writing systems emerged on clay tablets, far beyond simple marks. Egypt saw pyramids rise with impossible precision for a society supposedly just learning to build. In the Indus Valley, cities boasted advanced grids and drainage, centuries ahead of their time. China developed sophisticated bronze, casting, and dynastic rule with startling speed. It was as if humanity crossed a threshold from mere survival to complex civilization in a single generation. But how did this dramatic transformation occur? Some scholars suggest climate change played a role. As ice retreated and rivers stabilized, fertile lands allowed farming to flourish, leading to surplus food and larger populations. But this explanation feels incomplete. Why did different civilizations, thousands of miles apart, leap forward almost simultaneously? Others propose trade networks carried ideas across vast distances, a spark igniting flames elsewhere. Yet, even this theory cannot explain the uncanny similarities in architecture, astronomy, and myth. Similarities across cultures that supposedly had no contact remain unexplained. Then there are the more controversial theories, forgotten civilizations that came before. Societies erased by catastrophe but remembered in fragments, myths of floods, gods descending from the sky, or golden ages lost to time. Could this be humanity rediscovering knowledge it once had? The mystery deepens with the scale of achievement, alignments with stars, engineering feats that defy explanation, and artifacts that seem out of place in their timeline. These are not the marks of societies stumbling into progress. They are the marks of societies that knew exactly what they were doing. Civilization appeared suddenly, and the reasons remain hidden. Was it climate, trade, forgotten knowledge, or something more profound? Whatever the cause, the leap was dramatic, setting humanity on a path to empires, monuments, and myths. Myths that still shape our world today. The question is not only why civilization appeared suddenly, but what it might reveal about chapters of history we have lost. In the ancient lands between the Tigris and Euphrates, a monumental shift began. Here, in Mesopotamia, scattered farming villages blossomed into the world's first great cities. This was a harsh yet fertile land, demanding ingenuity to thrive. Scorching summers and unpredictable floods tested early inhabitants. But humanity responded with brilliance. Farmers engineered intricate canal systems, diverting rivers to irrigate vast fields. This mastery of water transformed chaos into abundance, yielding surplus grain. With wealth came power, and from mud and fire, bricks were forged. These humble materials built towering walls, enclosing the very first urban centers. Uruk, a beacon of early civilization, rose majestically. Its grand ziggurats, stairways to the heavens, dominated the plains. Within its bustling walls, scribes etched symbols onto clay tablets. This was the birth of written language, preserving trade, laws, and myths. For the first time, human thought transcended a single lifetime, becoming permanent. Mesopotamia was a crucible of ambition. Kings, claiming divine right, ruled from opulent palaces. Priests interpreted omens, guiding their people through hardship. Soldiers defended the burgeoning cities, while merchants traversed dusty roads, and artisans crafted tools and treasures. The city pulsed with life, a vibrant tapestry of order, invention, and tradition. Yet this grandeur was fragile. The very rivers that sustained life could also bring ruin. Devastating floods and prolonged droughts threatened existence, and rival cities constantly vied for dominance. Mesopotamia was a land of both creation and destruction, where every triumph carried the shadow of potential collapse. Still, the birth of these cities marked an irreversible threshold. Humanity was no longer bound by nomadic rhythms. Permanent settlements fostered laws, shared identities, and complex societies. Civilization had taken root, its foundational branches destined to spread across the globe. Mesopotamia wasn't just the birthplace of cities. It was the birthplace of history itself, writing monumental architecture, sophisticated governance, and enduring myths. All emerged from this fertile crescent, profoundly shaping humanity's destiny. But as Mesopotamia flourished, another magnificent civilization began to rise along the Nile. The story of humanity's incredible leap forward was not confined to one land. It was a spreading tide, carrying with it new mysteries and wonders, forever changing the course of our shared past. Along the banks of the Nile, a civilization rose, determined to defy time itself. Ancient Egypt was a statement carved in stone, a declaration of humanity's reach for eternity. The Nile, both gift and challenge, brought fertile soil. Egyptians learned to harness its rhythm, turning unpredictability into prosperity and ambition. This ambition was etched into monuments so massive and precise they still stand thousands of years later, whispering of unsolved mysteries. The pyramids were cosmic machines, aligned with stars, built with uncanny accuracy. How did they achieve such feats without modern tools? Theories abound, yet none fully explain their scale or perfection. Temples rose beside the river, their columns carved with stories of gods and kings. Hieroglyphs danced across walls, preserving myths and histories in a language of symbols. Every monument was a bridge between earth and sky. Egypt's genius extended beyond monuments. They mastered mathematics, astronomy, and medicine, mapping the heavens and charting the stars. Their engineering was deliberate, woven into a worldview where the universe itself was a grand design, reflected in their structures. Yet beneath the grandeur lay fragility. Dynasties rose and fell, floods shifted, and rival powers threatened their reign. The monuments endured, but the people who built them faced the same cycles of prosperity and collapse as every civilization. Still, the legacy of Egypt remains unmatched. The pyramids, temples, and hieroglyphs are reminders of humanity's audacity to build not for a lifetime, but for eternity, to carve ambition into stone so deeply that even time cannot erase it. Egypt proved that civilization was not only about survival, but about vision, and that vision would echo across the world, inspiring generations. But while Egypt built monuments of eternity, another civilization thrived in silence, one that left behind mysteries not of stone, but of absence, the Indus Valley. Hidden in the plains of South Asia, along the Indus River, lies one of history's most enigmatic civilizations. Unlike Egypt with its pyramids, or Mesopotamia with its ziggurats, the Indus Valley left no towering monuments. Instead, it built cities of astonishing order, whispering of a society advanced, disciplined, and strangely silent. Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro were meticulously planned, not chaotic settlements. Streets ran in perfect grids, homes equipped with wells, and drainage systems carried waste away efficiently, an efficiency that would not be matched for thousands of years. Public baths suggest rituals of cleanliness, while granaries reveal a mastery of food storage. This was not a society stumbling into civilization. It understood urban life profoundly, yet the mystery lies in what they did not leave behind. Their script, carved into seals, remains undeciphered. Unlike Mesopotamia's cuneiform or Egypt's hieroglyphs, the Indus language has resisted every attempt at translation. We can see their symbols, but we cannot hear their voice. Their laws, their myths, their stories, all remain locked in silence. Even more puzzling is their absence of kings. No palaces dominate the ruins. No grand tombs proclaim rulers. The Indus Valley seems to have thrived without the monumental ego of dynasties. Was it a society ruled by councils, by merchants, or by priests? Or did they simply choose not to immortalize power in stone? Trade connected them to distant lands. Seals from the Indus have been found in Mesopotamia, suggesting networks that stretched across continents. They were not isolated. They were part of a global web of exchange. Yet, despite this, their civilization vanished. Around 1900 BCE, the cities declined, streets emptied, wells dried, and the script fell silent. Climate shifts, river changes, or invasions may have played a role, but no single cause explains their disappearance. The Indus Valley remains a riddle, a civilization advanced in planning, yet silent in voice, a society that thrived without monuments, yet left behind ruins that still astonish. It is a reminder that history is not only about what is remembered, but also about what is forgotten. The mystery of the Indus Valley is not just about its past, it is about us. How many civilizations have risen and fallen, leaving behind fragments too faint to decode? How many voices have been lost to silence? The Indus Valley whispers across time, but its words remain hidden. And as we move forward, we must ask, what happens when a civilization's story cannot be read? Along the winding banks of the Yellow River, a new civilization stirred, destined to shape Asia for millennia. Ancient China's early development was a deliberate weaving of survival, technology, and philosophy into something enduring. The land was unforgiving. The Yellow River's floods could devastate villages, yet its fertile soil promised abundance. To tame this power, communities built dikes and canals, learning to bend nature to their will. From these struggles, order emerged. transforming villages into the seeds of mighty dynasties. Bronze became both their weapon and their wonder. Early Chinese artisans mastered casting techniques with unmatched precision. Ritual vessels, powerful weapons, and intricate tools revealed a society that understood both utility and profound symbolism. Bronze was not just strength, it was meaning, connecting the living to their revered ancestors. But China's genius extended beyond metal or farming. It was deeply rooted in thought. Even in its earliest stages, this civilization sought harmony between heaven, earth, and humanity. Myths of dragons, sky deities, and ancestral spirits shaped rituals that bound communities together. These beliefs were frameworks for governance, morality, and identity. The Shang dynasty rose, carving its mark in oracle bones. Questions about war, harvests, and fate were inscribed. These bones are the earliest evidence of Chinese writing, a script that would evolve into one of the world's most enduring languages. Through them, we glimpse a society already asking profound questions about the will of heaven. Meanwhile, protective walls rose around settlements, foreshadowing the vast fortifications that would one day stretch across mountains. Armies marched, chariots thundered, and rulers declared themselves chosen by divine mandate. The mandate of heaven became the bedrock of Chinese political philosophy, shaping dynasties for centuries. Ancient China's early development was more than mere survival. It was a grand vision of order, balance, and permanence. From intricate bronze vessels to inscribed oracle bones, from river dikes to sacred ancestral rituals, this civilization was building a legacy. Yet, like all great civilizations, fragility lingered. Floods, invasions, and internal strife constantly threatened stability. The Shang would eventually give way to the Zhou, and the timeless cycle of rise and fall would begin anew. But the deep roots planted along the Yellow River would never vanish. They would grow into philosophies, technologies, and traditions that continue to shape our world today. China's early development was not just the birth of a nation, it was the birth of an idea that humanity could live in harmony with heaven and earth, and that civilization was far more than survival. It was destiny itself. Beyond the well-trodden paths of history lie tales untold, civilizations that rose and fell, leaving whispers and mysteries. Today, we journey to one such enigma, the Indus Valley civilization, a marvel of ancient urban planning. It didn't vanish in a single dramatic event. Its decline was gradual, mysterious, a slow unraveling into silence. Around 1900 BCE, the great cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro began to falter. Bustling streets grew empty, wells dried, granaries emptied, and intricate drainage systems failed. The order of the Indus Valley fragmented. But why did this sophisticated society collapse? What forces brought an end to its golden age? One prominent theory points to climate change. Shifting monsoon patterns may have weakened agriculture, turning once fertile fields into barren soil. Rivers that sustained life changed course, leaving cities stranded. Without food and water, populations dwindled. The great urban centers could no longer sustain themselves. Their vibrant life slowly faded away, replaced by desolation and abandonment. Another theory suggests invasion. Some believe waves of migrants or raiders disrupted the delicate balance. Yet, evidence of widespread conflict is scarce. Unlike other ancient empires, their ruins show little sign of war. The collapse seems less like conquest and more like a quiet abandonment, a slow exodus from their grand cities. Could disease have played a role? Dense populations and stagnant water might have sparked epidemics. But again, the evidence remains faint, leaving us with only speculation, adding to the enigma. The most haunting mystery is the silence of their script. As the civilization declined, their undeciphered symbols vanished. No records explain their fall, no inscriptions mourn their loss. The Indus Valley left cities of stone, but no voice. By 1500 BCE, the once great civilization had dissolved into scattered villages. The urban order was gone, replaced by smaller, simpler communities. The Indus Valley didn't fall with fire or conquest, it simply faded, leaving behind ruins that whisper of a society both advanced and vulnerable, a profound historical lesson. The collapse of the Indus Valley reminds us that even sophisticated civilizations can vanish, a stark warning from the past. Climate, disease, migration, or forces we cannot yet name may have undone them. Their silence is a powerful warning. Civilizations rise, civilizations fall, and sometimes they leave behind only fragments too faint to decode. The Indus Valley's mystery endures, not because of what we know, but because of what we cannot fully explain. And as one civilization faded into silence, another era of collapse loomed across the ancient world, the fall of the Bronze Age. Around 1200 BCE, the ancient world trembled. Across the Mediterranean and Near East, mighty civilizations that had thrived for centuries collapsed almost simultaneously. The Hittites, the Mycenaeans, the great cities of Canaan, and even Egypt itself faced devastation. It was as if the world was struck by an invisible hand. The signs of collapse are written in ruins. Palaces burned, trade routes vanished, and once thriving cities were abandoned. Archaeologists uncover layers of ash, toppled walls, and shattered pottery, evidence of widespread destruction. One theory points to climate change. Droughts may have crippled agriculture, leaving populations starving and desperate. Another theory suggests invasions. The so-called Sea Peoples swept across the Mediterranean, raiding coasts and burning cities. Their origins remain a mystery, but their impact was undeniable. Trade networks collapsed. Tin and copper traveled vast distances to create bronze, the lifeblood of armies and artisans. Internal strife added to the chaos. Kings lost authority, rebellions rose, and once powerful dynasties fractured. Egypt, though battered, survived, but its empire shrank and its golden age dimmed. The Hittite Empire vanished entirely, its capital reduced to rubble. The Mycenaean palaces of Greece fell silent, ushering in centuries of darkness before the rise of classical Greece. The Bronze Age collapse was more than destruction. It was a reset. Entire cultures disappeared, writing systems were lost, and knowledge faded. Humanity entered a dark age, forced to rebuild from fragments. Yet, from this devastation, new civilizations would rise. Iron replaced bronze, new empires emerged, and myths carried echoes of the collapse. The fall of the Bronze Age was not the end of history. It was the turning of a page, a reminder that even the greatest civilizations can vanish. The ruins whisper of fragility. The collapse warns of cycles, and the silence left behind challenges us to ask, how many times has humanity risen only to fall again? Beneath vast, silent deserts, entire civilizations lie hidden, swallowed by shifting sands, erased from memory, waiting to be rediscovered. These aren't just myths, they are real places, buried by time, concealed by silence, revealed only when the desert decides to give them back. In the Sahara, archaeologists have uncovered remnants of settlements that thrived when this desert was once green and vibrant. Rivers flowed, fields flourished, and communities built homes of stone and clay. But as the climate shifted, the sands advanced. What was once fertile land became a sea of silence, leaving behind ghostly ruins, swallowed by the relentless desert. In Arabia, whispers of Iram, the city of pillars mentioned in ancient texts, still linger. A hub of trade and wealth, it vanished beneath the desert, its towers buried, its streets erased. Some explorers claim to have found traces of its foundations. Whether myth or memory, Iram embodies the mystery of civilizations lost to the desert's insatiable hunger. Farther east, in Central Asia, the Silk Road once carried caravans across deserts to cities now abandoned. Fortresses, temples, and markets have been uncovered beneath dunes, revealing societies that thrived on trade. But they fell when trade routes shifted and empires collapsed, leaving their grandeur to the sands of time. The desert is both destroyer and preserver. While it buries cities, it also protects them from decay. Dry sands shield artifacts, preserving pottery, tools, and even texts for thousands of years, frozen in time. When explorers dig, they find not just ruins, but echoes of life, stories waiting to be heard. But the greatest mystery is how many cities remain undiscovered, hidden beneath the vast, silent expanses. Satellite imagery reveals outlines of structures beneath dunes, hints of roads and walls invisible to the naked eye. Each discovery raises the same question: how many civilizations have been erased, waiting for us to uncover them? Lost cities beneath the sand remind us that history is not complete. What we know is only a fraction of what once existed. The desert holds secrets of kingdoms forgotten, of cultures erased, of countless stories untold. And as explorers uncover these ruins, the sands whisper a warning. Civilizations rise, civilizations fall. Even the greatest can vanish without a trace, leaving only echoes for future generations to discover. Yet the sands are not the only veil hiding humanity's past. Across the world, jungles, oceans, and mountains conceal societies. The mystery deepens as we turn to those advanced societies that disappeared entirely, leaving no trace at all. History is filled with visible ruins, pyramids, temples, and ancient walls. But what about civilizations that left almost nothing behind? Advanced societies that thrived, built, and then vanished, leaving barely a whisper in the archaeological record. Their absence is perhaps more haunting than their presence, a profound silence echoing through time. In South America, legends speak of cultures predating the Inca, builders of vast networks and fortresses. Their engineering rivaled later empires, yet their names and stories are lost. Why did they vanish without records? Across the Pacific, myths tell of island cities swallowed by rising seas. Advanced navigators mapped the stars. Yet their civilizations left little trace beyond scattered ruins and mysterious statues. Were they erased by climate shifts? In Africa, beyond Egypt, fragments of forgotten kingdoms linger. Stone circles and abandoned fortresses hint at past glory. Societies that mastered trade and metallurgy, their histories remain unwritten, their voices silenced by time. Even in Europe, whispers of advanced societies persist. Megalithic builders raised monuments aligned with celestial events, but their culture left no texts, no clear explanation. They vanished, leaving only stone as testimony. The mystery deepens with artifacts that seem out of place, too advanced for their supposed era. Were they remnants of civilizations erased from memory? Or evidence of knowledge passed down from societies we cannot name? What makes these vanished societies so haunting is not only their disappearance, but the profound silence they left behind. No chronicles, no myths preserved in writing, no monuments declaring their existence. History is fragile. Without records, without voices, entire civilizations can vanish as if they never existed. And yet, their absence speaks louder than ruins. It tells us that humanity's story is incomplete. Chapters have been lost, erased by catastrophe, climate, or time itself. How many times has humanity risen, only to fall? The sands, the seas, the forests conceal their secrets. But the stones, the artifacts, the whispers of myth remind us they were real. Their disappearance is not the end of mystery. It is merely the beginning of our quest for understanding. Because across the world, megalithic structures still stand, monuments of stone that defy explanation, hinting at civilizations whose names we may never know, but whose legacy continues to intrigue us. Across wind-swept plains and hidden valleys, colossal stones rise from the earth. These megalithic structures defy explanation. They are silent monuments, built by hands long forgotten, aligned with stars, seasons, and mysteries that still puzzle us today. In Britain, Stonehenge stands as a circle of giants. Each stone, weighing tons, was transported across miles of rugged terrain. Its alignment with solstices suggests not only engineering skill, but profound astronomical knowledge. Was it a temple or a calendar? Farther north, in Scotland and Ireland, countless stone circles dot the landscape, each with its own celestial connection. These were not random constructions. They were precise, deliberate, and deeply connected to the cosmos. In Malta, massive temples carved from stone predate the pyramids. Their walls curve like waves, chambers echoing with ritual. Carvings suggest a culture obsessed with cycles of life and death. How did such a small island produce monuments so vast? In South America, the mystery deepens. At Sacsayhuaman, in Peru, stones weighing hundreds of tons fit together with incredible precision. No mortar, no binding, only perfect cuts, as if the builders possessed tools beyond their time. A true marvel of ancient engineering. Nearby, Tiwanaku and Puma Punku revealed blocks carved with geometric perfection. Their purpose is lost, their techniques unexplained. In Asia, megaliths rise in India and Indonesia, aligned with celestial events and ancient rituals, echoing similar patterns. In Africa, stone circles in Senegal and Gambia mirror the mysteries of Europe, suggesting a global phenomenon. Across continents, humanity raised stones to speak with the sky, a universal language of ancient wisdom. What unites these megaliths is not only their scale, but their profound mystery. How were they built with such primitive tools? Why were they aligned with stars? Were they temples, calendars, or something more, remnants of knowledge passed down? The stones endure, but their builders are gone. They remind us that humanity's past is deeper than we know. Civilizations rose with knowledge we cannot fully explain. Megalithic structures are not ruins alone. They are questions carved in stone, challenges to the timeline of history, inviting us to reconsider our understanding. And as we look across continents, we see similarities too striking to ignore. Different cultures, separated by oceans. Could there have been a shared origin, a global connection, or a forgotten civilization that seeded these ideas across the world? The stones stand silent, but their silence is not empty. It is a mystery waiting to be heard. Across continents, ancient civilizations built monuments, strangely familiar, echoing each other in design and mystery. How could cultures with no known contact create such similar structures? In Egypt, pyramids pierce the sky, aligned with stars, built with precision that still defies explanation today. In Mesoamerica, Maya and Aztec raised step pyramids, also aligned with celestial events, connecting Earth to heavens. Two worlds apart, yet the vision was remarkably the same. Stone mountains reaching for eternity, a shared cosmic ambition. In Mesopotamia, ziggurats rose as stairways to the gods, layered platforms mirroring the pyramid's grand scale. In Cambodia, Angkor Wat's towers mirrored mythical Mount Meru. Architecture was not just shelter, but cosmology carved in stone. Even megalithic monuments share uncanny similarities worldwide. Stonehenge in Britain aligns with solstices, a celestial calendar. Nabta Playa in Egypt marks astronomical events with stone circles, thousands of miles apart. Both spoke with the sky. The similarities extend to incredible engineering feats. Massive blocks fitted with precision, defying simple tools. Temples aligned with cardinal directions, built to endure millennia. These were deliberate choices, reflecting advanced knowledge. Mathematics, astronomy, and geometry were clearly understood. But the greatest mystery remains. Why these parallels? Did civilizations independently discover the same truths? Or was there a shared origin, a forgotten global civilization? Myths of floods, gods, and golden ages hint at lost memories. The parallels are too striking to simply ignore. Same cosmic vision, obsession with eternity, mastery of stone. These similarities challenge our conventional timeline of history. Humanity's story may be more connected than we think. The stones whisper of unity, of knowledge shared or rediscovered. What technologies, what secrets did these civilizations possess? The answer may lie in the artifacts themselves. Objects that defy explanation, relics out of place in their time. When we think of ancient civilizations, we often imagine simple tools and primitive methods. Yet, scattered across ruins and artifacts, are technologies so advanced they seem out of place. These inventions confuse scientists and challenge our timeline of human development. Consider the Antikythera mechanism, discovered in a shipwreck off Greece. This ancient device, built over 2,000 years ago, functioned as a complex computer. It predicted eclipses and tracked planetary movements with astonishing accuracy. How did ancient engineers achieve such mastery, rivaling modern clockwork? In Egypt, evidence of advanced stone-cutting techniques raises further questions. Granite blocks weighing tons were carved with precision that challenges modern tools. Drill marks and smooth surfaces suggest methods beyond simple chisels. Were these lost techniques or knowledge from an earlier, forgotten age? Across the deserts of South America, the Nazca lines stretch for miles. These massive geoglyphs are visible only from the sky. How could a culture without flight design, figures so vast and precise? Were they astronomical markers, ritual pathways, or messages to the heavens? Their purpose remains a mystery, their construction a marvel. At Puma Punku in Bolivia, stones are cut with geometric perfection. Some blocks weigh hundreds of tons, yet were placed with uncanny accuracy. The techniques used remain unexplained, leaving scientists to wonder. Even metallurgy holds surprises. Ancient India produced steel of remarkable quality. Known as woots, it was prized globally for its strength and sharpness. How did ancient smiths master techniques modern science only rediscovered centuries later? Then there are artifacts that seem to defy their era entirely. Batteries found in Mesopotamia, strange carvings resembling modern aircraft, and maps depicting Antarctica centuries before its official discovery. Each raises the same unsettling question. Were these anomalies, coincidences, or fragments of knowledge from civilizations erased from history? These technologies confuse scientists not because they are impossible, but because they are profoundly out of place in their supposed era. They suggest humanity's past may have been more advanced, more connected, and far more mysterious than we currently imagine. The ruins whisper of forgotten ingenuity. The artifacts challenge our assumptions, and the unanswered questions remind us that history is not complete. If ancient technologies were this advanced, what else lies hidden? Perhaps the artifacts themselves hold the next clues. History often seems like a clear, linear progression from simple tools to advanced technology. Yet, scattered across our world are artifacts that defy this timeline, objects too advanced for their supposed age. One such enigma is the Baghdad battery, a simple clay jar discovered in Iraq. Inside, copper and iron components resemble a primitive battery. Could ancients have harnessed electricity? Was it for electroplating, medicine, or ritual? Science still grapples with these profound questions. In Turkey, Göbekli Tepe stands as a monumental challenge to our understanding of early civilization. Dating back over 11,000 years, it predates agriculture and cities, defying established times. Its massive stone pillars, adorned with symbols, suggest a highly advanced society. Who built this incredible site, and why was it deliberately buried for millennia? Maps to hold secrets. The 16th century Piri Reis map appears to show Antarctica. This was centuries before its official discovery, and even more puzzling, it depicts an ice-free coastline. How could cartographers possess such detailed knowledge, only recently confirmed by modern science? In South America, artifacts bear uncanny resemblances to modern aircraft and rockets. Skeptics call it coincidence, but their precise forms fuel speculation about forgotten knowledge. Then there are out-of-place objects found in geological layers millions of years old. These tools, spheres, and carvings appear shaped with precision far beyond natural formation. Are they anomalies, misinterpretations, or evidence of something far stranger? Even in ancient Egypt, precision-drilled stone core challenge our understanding of their tools. The smoothness and accuracy defy simple chisels, suggesting advanced techniques or inherited knowledge. These artifacts are not mere curiosities. They are cracks in the foundation of history. They hint that our story may be incomplete, fragments of civilizations erased from memory. The mystery deepens when we consider a global civilization before recorded history, a society that may have seeded knowledge across continents only to vanish in catastrophe. Each discovery forces us to ask, are these anomalies mistakes or echoes of a forgotten past? The untold history of human civilizations awaits our rediscovery. Across ancient monuments, myths, and artifacts, striking similarities emerge. They pose a profound question. Was there a global civilization, far older than any we know, that seeded knowledge across the world? Legends from every continent speak of golden ages, great floods, and gods descending from the sky. In Mesopotamia, the Epic of Gilgamesh recounts a great deluge. The Bible echoes this with Noah's flood. Hindu texts tell of Manu surviving a cosmic flood, guided by a divine being. Indigenous myths across the Americas share similar tales. These shared memories suggest not mere coincidence, but fragments of a collective, forgotten past. The architecture deepens the mystery. Pyramids in Egypt, Mesoamerica, and even China share uncanny similarities. Megalithic structures across continents align with stars, implying advanced astronomical knowledge. How did cultures separated by vast oceans arrive at the same vision of stone mountains reaching toward the heavens? Artifacts further fuel speculation. Maps depict lands before their official discovery. Tools seem too advanced for their era, and undeciphered scripts hint at lost languages. Each anomaly suggests humanity's story may not begin where we think it does. Some scholars argue for independent invention, that societies faced similar challenges and found similar solutions. Others whisper of a forgotten civilization, erased by catastrophe, remembered only in myth. Could a society have existed before Mesopotamia, Egypt, or the Indus Valley? A civilization global in scope, connected by trade, knowledge, or even advanced technology. If such a civilization existed, its fall must have been catastrophic. Floods, earthquakes, or cosmic events could have erased entire cities, leaving only fragments. Survivors may have carried fragments of knowledge, astronomy, engineering, myth, which later civilizations inherited. The idea of a global civilization before recorded history remains unproven. Yet the evidence, myths, monuments, artifacts continues to challenge what we know. It forces us to confront the possibility that humanity's past is deeper, older, and more connected than taught. If such a civilization did exist, its disappearance raises the ultimate question: what destroyed it, and could it happen again? Civilizations rise, flourish, and fall, but sometimes their collapse is sudden, catastrophic, forcing humanity to rebuild. The ancient world whispers of immense disasters, so complete they reshaped history, leaving only fragments behind. Myths of great floods echo across cultures. From Mesopotamia's Gilgamesh to Noah's Ark, waters rise to erase worlds. Hindu tales of Manu and Native American legends also describe rising waters. Could these be memories of real events? Massive floods, triggered by melting ice sheets, or tsunamis, may have drowned entire civilizations, leaving survivors to rebuild. Volcanic eruptions have the power to erase societies overnight. The Thera eruption devastated the Minoan civilization. Around 1600 BCE, ash darkened skies, crops failed, and trade collapsed across the Mediterranean. Similar events may have occurred elsewhere, wiping out cultures that left little trace, lost to history's silence. Cities built on fault lines faced destruction when the earth itself shifted. Temples, palaces, and homes crumbled in moments. Entire societies could vanish. their ruins buried beneath rubble. Earthquakes may explain sudden abandonments. Some researchers suggest comets or meteor impacts may have triggered resets in human history. A sudden strike could cause fires, floods, and drastic climate shifts, altering the course of civilization. The younger, driest period, around 12,000 years ago, saw abrupt cooling. Some believe it was caused by a cosmic impact. If true, it may have erased advanced societies before recorded history began, leaving no written records. Civilizations depend on stable environments. When monsoons failed, rivers dried, or deserts expanded, societies collapsed. The Indus Valley may have fallen to shifting rivers. The Mayans faced droughts that emptied their cities. Climate change has always been a silent destroyer, reshaping humanity's path through subtle yet powerful shifts. These catastrophes remind us that civilization is fragile. A flood, fire, quake, or cosmic strike can erase centuries of progress. Myths of golden ages lost to disaster may not be fantasy. They may be memories of resets, when humanity started again. The question isn't whether catastrophes have reset humanity. The question is how many times it has happened, and how many civilizations have we already lost to the silence of history, waiting to be rediscovered. When civilizations fall, their monuments may crumble, but their stories endure. Myths and legends are more than tales. They are vessels of memory, carrying fragments of knowledge across generations, echoes of societies long forgotten. Consider the universal flood myths, from Mesopotamia's Gilgamesh to the biblical story of Noah. From Hindu texts of Manu to Native American traditions, flood myths appear everywhere. Are they mere allegories, or recollections of real cataclysms? Rising seas, melting ice, or tsunamis that erased entire settlements. Survivors encoded their trauma into myth, ensuring the memory of disaster lived on. A warning from the past. Legends of gods and heroes often mirror celestial events. Greek myths of Orion, Egyptian tales of Osiris, Native American sky stories all encode star patterns and cosmic cycles. A way to transmit knowledge without mathematics. Myths became a way to transmit astronomical knowledge, embedding calendars and cosmic alignments into narrative. Some myths describe tools or powers that sound eerily like advanced technologies. The Vimanas of ancient India. Greek myths of Hephaestus speak of mechanical servants. Norse legends describe weapons of immense power, echoing technologies far beyond their time. Were these pure imagination or distorted memories of lost inventions? The hero's journey, the great flood, the descent of gods, these archetypes repeat across continents. Their persistence suggests they may be more than coincidence, fragments of a shared human past, carried across migrations, encoded in story, so they would not be forgotten. A universal human experience. Beyond symbolism, myths often contain practical wisdom. Polynesian navigation myths encode star maps. Agricultural myths preserve planting cycles. Ritual stories teach social order and morality. Myths were not just entertainment. They were libraries of survival, disguised as legend. Myths and legends remind us that history is not only written in stone or script, it is carried in memory, in story, in the imagination of generations. They are bridges between the known and the forgotten, between fact and mystery. Perhaps the greatest lesson is this: myths are not lies. They are truths wrapped in story, fragments of knowledge passed through time, waiting for us to decode. For centuries, archaeology has unearthed incredible secrets, yet the deeper we dig, the more profound mysteries emerge. These puzzles challenge our understanding of human history, disrupting neat timelines with discoveries that defy explanation. Consider the megaliths, Stonehenge, Göbekli Tepe, and countless others. Their precise celestial alignments are undeniable. Were they calendars, temples, or something far more complex? The true intent of their builders remains an enduring enigma. Then there are the silent texts, locked doors to civilizations we barely comprehend. Undeciphered scripts hold untold stories. The Indus Valley script, Linear A from Crete, and the Rongorongo glyphs of Easter Island all remain unreadable. How did ancient builders achieve such impossible feats? Moving stones weighing hundreds of tons, carving granite with precision. Sites like Sacsayhuaman showcase stonework that rivals modern tools, leaving us to ponder their lost techniques. Across oceans, civilizations built pyramids, aligned monuments with stars, and shared myths of great floods. Were these independent inventions or evidence of forgotten connections across the ancient world? The question lingers. Some artifacts simply don't fit. They challenge our timeline, suggesting knowledge far beyond their supposed era. The Antikythera mechanism, the Baghdad battery, and maps showing lands before discovery are prime examples. Entire civilizations vanished, their sudden collapses remaining partly unexplained. The Bronze Age, Indus Valley, and Maya, climate, war, disease, all are possible causes, but none tell the full story. The reasons for collapse often remain shadows. Flood legends, sky gods, and tales of lost golden ages may encode memories of real events. Yet archaeology hesitates to treat myth as evidence, leaving unanswered whether these stories are fantasy or fragments of forgotten history. Modern archaeology explains much, but its greatest gift may be reminding us how much we truly don't know. The unanswered questions are not failures. They are invitations to keep searching, to keep questioning, to keep listening to the whispers of stone and silence, revealing the untold history of human civilizations. History, we often perceive it as a clear, unbroken line, a steady march from primitive beginnings to modern complexity. But what if that line is far more fragmented, mysterious, and incomplete than we've ever imagined? Civilizations rise suddenly, collapse mysteriously, and leave behind not just ruins, but profound riddles, myths, and artifacts that refuse to fit neatly into our established timelines. Archaeology has uncovered much, revealing incredible insights into our past. Yet, it often raises more questions than it provides answers, challenging our conventional understanding. The undeciphered scripts, the megaliths, aligned with cosmic precision, and technologies seemingly out of place in their era. These anomalies suggest a past far deeper and more complex, and the myths that echo across continents, sharing uncanny similarities. Each discovery isn't just an answer, but a profound question, a reminder that the story of civilization is still being written. Perhaps history is not complete because it cannot be. Civilizations vanish, sometimes reset by cataclysmic events, their knowledge passed through myths rather than monuments. What we know today is only a fraction of what once existed. The rest lies buried beneath layers of sand, submerged under the seas, or lost to the profound silence of time. But this incompleteness is not a weakness. It is, in fact, a profound invitation. An invitation to keep searching, to keep questioning, to listen closely to the whispers of stone and story. History is not a closed book, neatly catalogued and fully understood. It is a living mystery, continuously unfolding with every new artifact, every deciphered text, every reinterpreted myth. So, is history truly complete? No. It is a magnificent mosaic, yet with countless missing pieces. A grand puzzle, with fragments scattered across millennia and forgotten eras. And perhaps that is its greatest power, to remind us that humanity's journey isn't solely about what we have achieved, but also about what we have lost, and what we may yet rediscover. The story we tell today might end here, but the mystery certainly does not. The ruins still whisper their secrets, the myths still echo through time, and the unanswered questions continue to call us forward. History is not complete, and that, above all, is precisely why it will always matter, inviting us to explore its endless depths.